go to Evelyn for a complete look at the forecast.
My job got a little easier this week, huh?
Yeah,
but I'm not complaining because I'm enjoying the sunshine. We all deserve it after all of the rain, all of the cold temperatures. And again, we're almost officially out of the drought, so that's great news. So we can finally enjoy the sunshine without feeling a little guilty about it. So getting a look right here at LAX. Can't see too much, but I will tell you we're seeing mostly clear conditions. A little bit of cloud cover making its way into the forecast, just a bit of fog, but for the most part, we're nice and clear. We're staying very dry and we're staying very warm as well, in fact above average. So that ridge of high pressure is starting to build over the area. We're looking at nothing but sunshine, but we are looking at those offshore conditions, and with that, several wind advisories for the LA County Mountains and the Santa Clarita Valley as well. In effect right now, lasting through about 3 o'clock in the morning, expecting 20 to 30 mile per hour sustained winds in the area with wind gusts maybe even up to 40-50 miles an hour. At this point, sustained winds though looking pretty good elsewhere. Everybody pretty calm wind wise, with the exception of Santa Clarita, where you're already seeing sustained winds at 13 miles an hour, so wind gusts above 20 miles an hour right now. Earlier today, got up to 71 degrees. That's right around average, but we are expecting to get well above average, climbing up into the 80s, the 90s even. So we're going to have all those temperatures for you coming up in just a little bit. Back to you.
All right.
It feels so good.
Yeah. It feels so invigorating.
It really
I feel alive.
You know what? She's going to be complaining by the end of this week how hot it is, Evelyn.
I know.
Just you watch.
That's probably going to
not
happen
me.
with
I
a lot
don't
of us.
complain.
But I've been in the best mood ever. The sunshine's
Isn't it
really,
great?
oh my gosh, nothing can get in my way with this sun. I've been loving it. Hopefully you're loving it too, and we're keeping things this way for the next few days. But as Lena mentioned, might get a little too hot for some of you. So we'll go over those numbers in a second. Taking you out to the Santa Monica Pier, take a look at how many people are out and about. Haven't seen this many people on the pier for quite a while, so you know what that means. Probably pretty nice outside, and it is. We're into the 60s. In fact, Santa Monica, you're at 58 degrees, so a little below that as we head over to Beverly Hills, 61 degrees, and Encino currently at 67 degrees. Heading over to Orange County, you're pretty much into the 50s, 58 in Huntington, Westminster at 58, and over to Irvine, you're currently at 58 degrees. So keeping things somewhat mild right now, plenty of sunshine over the next few days, and as a result, we're really starting to punch up those temperatures. Offshore winds in the forecast, and with that, we're actually looking at several wind advisories in store right now as we speak for the Santa Clarita Valley and the LA County Mountains. We're warming up into the 80s and the 90s, and again, we are keeping temperatures pretty much above average for the remainder of the week here. A little cooler as we head into the weekend. We'll have that coming up in your 5-day forecast in just a minute, but you'll see the next 24 hours look a bit like this. 50s into the overnight hours with clear conditions. First thing in the morning, we're at 60 degrees, and by the afternoon, 82. So we'll show you what your 5-day forecast looks like in just a few minutes. Back to you. Well, it's springtime here at home, or at least it finally feels like it. We're going to have that warm-up coming up for you in just a little bit.
By the way, is that a bad sign? Maybe is that, you think?
Well, don't they say rain is good luck, so I bet a
Really?
snowstorm
Well,
is
snow.
even better luck.
Wow.
And really, are chattering teeth any different from a warm wedding?
Yeah.
True.
You know, right?
True story. Yeah. There we go. I got cold. I have goosebumps.
Just watching that.
I know. I really got
When's
goosebumps.
the
You
snow?
do, actually.
I'm not kidding.
When's the
Yeah.
snow hitting here again?
No snow for now,
Yeah.
actually. But our snowpack is pretty decent because of that. We're out of the drought.
drought's going to end. That's
So
awesome, isn't
that's
it?
Good.
very exciting.
Great
So finally don't feel guilty about being excited about this weather, because usually we say, oh, we're happy it's
Yeah,
so
we
dry,
need
but
it
we're in a
on it.
drought, so we can't be so happy that it's dry. But we finally genuinely can feel okay about it inside. So that's a good thing. But over the next few days, yeah, we are keeping things nice and dry, and that things are going to stay that way, at least for the next 7 days, at least, it looks like at this point. And with that, well, a nice little warm-up in store. More than just a warm-up, the heat really turning it up over the next few days. Temperature-wise right now, we're pretty mild. We're at 60 degrees right here at the broadcast center in Studio City. Getting a look outside, mostly clear conditions. Maybe a little bit of fog here and there, but for the most part, we're keeping things clear. And by tomorrow, nothing but sunshine, warm temperatures, and those offshore winds that are actually keeping us nice and clear, nice and warm, nice and dry. But as a result, we're under a wind advisory for the LA County Mountains and for the Santa Clarita Valley as well. Should stay into effect until 3 a.m. So we're already under that wind advisory, expecting sustained wind speeds between 20 and 30 miles an hour with wind gusts up to maybe even 40, 50 miles an hour. At this point, everybody pretty calm in the way of wind, but as we take it up to Santa Clarita, remember you are under that wind advisory. So you're currently looking at sustained winds around 14 miles an hour at the moment with wind gusts in the 20 mile per hour range. Other than that, we got up to 71 degrees earlier today. Average is 71. So certainly a great looking forecast, and temperature wise this evening, evening, we're into the 50s. We're into the 60s as well. Orange County currently at 58 degrees in Westminster, over to Fullerton 59, Orange 58, and Irvine 58 degrees. So again, here's the drill. Your weather headline showing you plenty of sunshine. Offshore winds, remember those wind advisories in effect into the overnight hours. Warming up, we're talking 80s and 90s. So that's well above average for this time of year. And you're going to see those 80s and 90s as we take a look at your 5-day forecast here. You will notice 80s in the forecast tomorrow, flirting with the 90s in the basin by Thursday. More warming by Friday, by Saturday, and by Sunday. A little cooler, a little cloudier for you. Next 5-day forecast, we're showing you the high desert. Plenty of sunshine, warming up by Wednesday, 80s by Thursday, mid-80s by Friday. By the time we hit the weekend, we're cooling it down, but just into the mid-70s. So still a nice forecast for you. And finally, getting a quick look at the coast. Take a look at this. Sunshine across the board through Friday. We're talking 80s at the beach, so very much beach weather. Could call it beach weather. Tomorrow into Thursday, low 80s. A little cooler on Friday, but we're still at about 70 degrees. And then by Saturday and by Sunday, we're cooling it down into the mid-60s. Same thing goes for Sunday with a mix of clouds and sunshine. But remember, we're talking 80s this week, even at the coast. Those inland spots soaring into the 90s in a matter of just a day or two. Back to you.